Are you proud of your Filipino supernatural heritage? Then wear it for the world to see. Visit our merchandise page at www.cafepress.com, keyword Pamanimation and Aswang. Anyone who has traveled to Manila, or even Cebu for that matter, can attest to one of the banes of living in the Philippines, the horrendous traffic. In a landscape where lane lines don't matter, where a one-way, three-lane road is often used as five by cars, jeepneys, buses, and motorcycles, including one in the opposite direction, it's a wonder that there aren't more accidents on the roadways. But in the hands of perhaps the most skilled drivers in the world, it is a way of life that flows day in and day out, where honking your horn is meant as a warning and not as an insult. Local drivers should treat it like an amusement park ride and charge tourists for the experience. Much like traffic in every major city in Asia, it's something you won't soon forget. The only thing worse than flagging a taxi or a bus by day is doing so at night at the height of a traffic jam. With her attaché in tow, Rosalind said goodbye to the security desk and exited the sliding front doors of the towering office complex. It had been a grueling past few days, slaving on a project that seemingly had no end. Moving deadlines, an overbearing boss, and constant changes made for a challenging work week, and she was now ready to call it a night. Her company didn't pay her enough to deal with all these headaches. She was greeted by a sea of people as she descended down the steps to the curb. With the bustling Thursday night traffic jam in full bloom, she would have to jockey along with the others just to summon a cab to go home. With her handkerchief pressed firmly across her nose and mouth, she tried desperately to flag a taxi cab between the overflowing jeepneys and roaring buses. Squeezing in and out of aggressive commuters who would cut in when any car approached, Rosalind managed to flag a taxicab down and scramble her way inside ahead of the others. With an exhale, despite a long ride home, she finally managed to decompress. "Where to, ma'am?" asked the driver. "Santa Mesa, please," she said. "By the SM." He lowered his meter, then slowly blended with the traffic. Rosalind leaned back and looked out the window. "I can't believe how bad it is outside," she said. "Can you imagine if it was raining and the streets were flooded? I bet you're busy tonight with the passengers, huh?" The driver, however, remained quiet. "My day is over," Rosalind continued, "and I'm just going to go home, eat something quick, and go straight to sleep. How long have you been out tonight?" Again, the driver remained stoic. She shrugged her shoulders. Maybe he was too busy to talk while weaving in and out of lanes. Rosalind closed her eyes, then quickly woke up. In the blink of an eye, she was close to home already. "I'm sorry," she said. "I must have dozed off. That's what I get for working too much overtime." She stared at the meter just as the car parked in front of her home. "Here's the payment," she said, pulling out some bills with a little extra for tip. "Thank you again. You're a lifesaver." But instead of turning around, the driver simply raised his hand back to take her money in his palm.
"Don't look behind you."
Finding his behavior unusual, she pulled out a pen and paper and wrote the man's name and cab number down, which were in full view on his ID card on the dashboard. To her amazement, she couldn't remember seeing him glance in any direction during the entire trip except forward. Rosalind tried to catch a glimpse of his face on his rearview mirror, but only saw a patch of white where his eyes should have been. Did he have surgery recently, which is why he was hesitant to show his face? The following day, while working through another grueling deadline, She thought about the curious driver again. She looked up the cab company and decided to complain about him, about how rude he was upon reflection, and that he needed to work on his customer service. "Hi, my name is Rosalind," she told the operator, "and I was a passenger inside cab 14 last night. I just wanted to complain about your driver. His name was Ernesto, and he was extremely rude." The operator went silent for a few seconds. "Ma'am, what you're saying is not possible." "What do you mean?" she retorted. "I want to file a complaint against the driver of cab 14. Who is your supervisor?" "Ma'am," said the operator, "cab 14 was involved in a car accident 2 days ago. There was one fatality, and that was our driver, Sir Ernesto. The cab was severely damaged and is in our garage right now. There's no way that was the cab you rode in last night." Rosalind slowly lowered the phone. She thought deeply, then realized that the patches of white she saw last night on the driver's eyes were gauze pads, something taped across the eyes of the recently deceased. If you're enjoying the content that we've provided, please show your support. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Would you like to learn more about the Asian and Pacific Islanders supernatural? Then please pick up Alex Pauman's books, Filipino Ghost Stories from Tuttle Publishing, and Asian Supernatural, including Hawaii and the Pacific, from Mutual Publishing. Both are available from their respective publishers or from Amazon.com.